Hi, welcome back to this final segment of this Clean Out the Fridge Friday on Focal Point. Brian Fisher is my name. This is the home of high-definition radio, more content per cubic inch of air any other place on your radio dial. By the way, it's now official. Looking at a piece by Anthony Watts on what's up with that. The monthly satellite lower troposphere temperature. I don't even know what that means. Lower troposphere. I have no idea what that means, but these guys do. These are meteorologists, climatologists, and they have satellites that take temperature readings in the lower troposphere. And the data is now in. There has been no global warming at all for 17 years and 5 months. That's another Fisher factoid of the day. This is from satellite data, ladies and gentlemen. And it's saying that there has been no, I repeat, zero, zip, not zilch, global warming for 17 years and 5 months. And that's based on satellite data. So the global warming thing is a complete, total, utter hoax. Realize what this means. I've said it before. There is no child alive on planet Earth. Not one single solitary child who is alive anywhere on planet Earth who has experienced global warming. Now, I mentioned the Tea Party, and this is a big win. This is our winnable war moment for the day. We backed John Boehner completely out of immigration. I mean, I think it's done for the year. Mitch McConnell is saying it's done. John Boehner is saying it's done. Paul Ryan is saying, I don't think we can get it done. Remember, they were gung-ho. A month ago, they were gung-ho to do this thing. We're going to push amnesty right down the throats of our own people. Well, the base rose up. The base rose up just like we did in 2007 to stand up against John McCain and George Bush on amnesty. We stood them down then, faced them down, mano a mano, in the street. They backed down. They blinked. It's happened again. It's a big winnable war moment on the immigration issue. Here's a piece from Breitbart. Wednesday morning at a small meeting of conservative House members called the Conservative Opportunity Society, the topic was immigration. Pollster Scott Rasmussen laid it out in blunt terms. I can't think of a stupider thing for the Republicans to do. You know, I've got a good friend that says there are two parties in Washington, D.C. There is the evil party, and then there is the stupid party. And Scott Rasmussen says, if you want to be the stupid party, here's how you do it. Do amnesty. And 24 hours later, after this meeting of conservative House members, John Boehner backed down, hitting the brakes on his immigration push. Now, what Boehner's out there saying, hey, and what he's saying has the advantage of being true. We can't do this because Obama wouldn't enforce any law that we would pass. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely right. That's not why Boehner is backing off. He's backing off, ladies and gentlemen, because of the base. He's backing off because of you and me. As Breitbart puts it, the real story of Boehner's sudden reticence is the building fury of hardline amnesty opponents in Congress and the grassroots activists like you and me who had been melting the Capitol phone line. So that is our winnable war moment for the day. And it is a war. I'm looking at a piece here indicating that the advocates for same-sex marriage, if you don't think we're locked in a culture war, you better wake up, because the other side knows that it's a war, and they're gearing up. Here's a piece from Politico. Gay marriage advocates are launching a coordinated war room, that's their term, a war room effort to help disseminate information about the efforts in dozens of states to legalize same-sex nuptials. So they're building a war room. They're building a situation room. Why? Because they know that we are locked in a culture war, a civil war over the values on human sexuality and the family that are going to govern this nation in the future. Now, you want to know why we ought to continue to oppose the normalization of homosexuality. I'm looking at a piece today from the Associated Press from Illinois. Illinois officials are sponsoring health education and testing events on Friday in recognition of National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. This is National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. Now, what a lot of people don't know, and gay activists don't want you to know this, is that HIV/AIDS is decimating the black population. Black males are the primary victims or the leading victims of HIV/AIDS right now in our culture. Blacks only account for 12% of the U.S. population, and we're talking about males. You need to cut that down to about 6% then, because half of the black population is female, roughly. So you got 6% of the population, black males, that account for 44% of all of the HIV/AIDS cases in America. I mean, this is black genocide. If you care about black people, and we do, I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's the people who do not care about the health of black males that are all for the normalization of homosexuality. If you are for, let me put it bluntly, if you are for the legalization of homosexuality, you are for the acceptability of homosexuality, you are for the normalization of homosexuality, you do not care about black males. You have no compassion in your black heart for black males because they're being decimated by HIV/AIDS. 6% of the population, 44% of HIV/AIDS. So why am I opposed to the normalization of homosexual behavior? Because I love black males. I want black males to live long, prosperous, healthy, disease-free lives. Now, it's even worse among black males who are between the ages of 13 and 24. The latest statistics indicate that 94 to 95% of all of the males who have HIV/AIDS are black if they're between the ages of 13 and 24. Males between the ages of 13 and 24, 95% of the HIV/AIDS victims are black males. It's wiping out black teenagers and young adults. So once again, if you want to normalize homosexuality, you are telling the world you do not care about the health of black males. And that is, there's no blunter way to put it, but it's an absolutely true fact. Here's another health risk associated with homosexuality. This is from Fox News. A study finds steroid use is higher among gay and bisexual teen boys. Now, we've said, look, there are a host of pathologies associated with homosexual behavior, a host of them. That's why we oppose the normalization of it. It's not a healthy lifestyle choice. It's not what God designed human sexuality for. But here it is from Chicago. Gay and bisexual teen boys use illicit steroids at a rate that is almost 6 times higher than do straight kids, a, quote, dramatic disparity, end quote. Overall, 21% of gay or bisexual boys said they had used steroids versus 4% of straights. Previous research has found similar disparities for other substance abuse. And this is a government survey again. This is not the vast right-wing conspiracy. This is an analysis of government surveys from 2005 to 2007. And here's a comment from Dr. Rob Garofalo, again, not a member of the vast right-wing conspiracy. He's not on the staff at FRC, not on the staff at AFA. Rob Garofalo, he's the adolescent medicine chief at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. He says these differences are shocking. These are dramatically high rates. Now, here are some of the side effects of steroid use: heart and liver problems, high blood pressure, acne and aggressive behavior, heightened risk for problems that may be permanent. So again, I say to you, look, if you support the normalization of homosexuality, you are telling people, you are telling the world, you do not care about the health of teenage boys, because one of the pathologies associated with homosexuality, higher steroid use, it can damage your heart, it can damage your liver. We are opposed to the normalization of homosexual behavior because we care about the health of teenage boys. We don't want to see them destroying their hearts, destroying their livers through steroid use, and it's not just steroid use, it's substance abuse in general. So that's one of the reasons why we are flatly opposed to the normalization of homosexual behavior. Now, let's grab clip number 2 if we can, Rob. It's probably the only one we'll have time for. But Rand Paul was being asked about this whole war on women meme. Remember, the meme out there is that Republicans are responsible for the war on women, and Rand Paul says that is ludicrous when you think back to the behavior and the conduct of the last Democratic president that we had. Let's listen.
For all these people who stand up for Bill Clinton and say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, he was a serial philanderer, but he also is someone who took advantage of women in the workplace, and that's an old-fashioned thing from a long time ago. It's only 15 years ago. Many of the Democrats today still defend him and think he's the greatest thing, but he was a person who took advantage of a young girl in the workplace, and I think that's inexcusable, and that kind of war on women women should end.
And what do you think that has to do if Hillary Clinton runs for president?
You know, I'm not so sure. I mean, like I said, it's hard to separate them, but it's not her fault. I mean, she's had to tolerate the same sort of problems from him, you know, I guess over time. But I would say that it's more a question of the entire Democrat Party who says there's a war on women and that somehow the other party's committing this, and yet they support and defend a guy who really in the workplace was doing something that was inexcusable, should not be tolerated. And so really there's a question of hypocrisy, and I think people don't like hypocrisy.
So Rand Paul is saying, you want to talk about war on women? Look at the Democratic Party. Here is a serial philanderer, a sexual predator that took advantage of a young, vulnerable intern in the Oval Office. And by the way, there's a credible story out that President Clinton had an affair with a Hollywood actress while he was in the White House. The source of that is an actor, Tom Sizemore, who visited the White House. Now he's saying, when I said that, I was high on drugs. Doesn't deny that he said it. He just says, well, I was high on drugs, didn't know what I was saying. Fine. But anyway, that thing is out there. And so, you know, what Rand Paul is saying, if you want to talk about a war on women, look at the callous way that the entire liberal wing of the party treats abuse against women. They lionize a guy that was a serial philanderer and was a sexual predator, and they lionize him. He's still getting tens of thousands of dollars for every speech that he delivers. And Ruth Marcus, who's a columnist for the Washington Post, she actually blamed it on Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky was not precisely an innocent victim here. She's an innocent victim, sexually promiscuous, a slutty, low-life woman. So they're blaming it on the victim. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget, I'll be gone for a week, back a week from Monday. Don't forget to bow low before God, stand tall before man, stand in the gap, and never forget, we are fighting a winnable war. See you in a week from Monday.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.